Okay, so good morning everyone. This is day 2 of the live mini chakra training. So yeah, day 2 is the sacral chakra, the second chakra up, if we're coming up in our human evolution as human beings kind of living our lives, thinking about planes of consciousness, the chakras being planes of consciousness that we go through in our lives, then the sacral chakra is the second one up. So yesterday we talked about the root chakra a little bit and I gave you a few little exercises. So today I'll be talking about the sacral chakra, the second of the lower 3 chakras. So if you are joining me, do write a comment and then I'll be able to see that you're there and we can have a little bit of interaction. And yesterday I gave you some little exercises to do. We did a breathing exercise together where we were rooting our feet into the core of the earth, and I encouraged you to get outside and connect with the earth. Muladhara is the root chakra, that's its Sanskrit name, Muladhara, which means root support, so taking the support from the earth, and it's our first step for any kind of journey, any transformational journey. So you use the earth for support, and then you kind of dig down, and that's how you move forward. So like a tree, the bigger roots you grow, the more you can actually grow out and up. So I'm interested to hear what happened. I heard from Dora yesterday that she after seeing the root chakra thing, she decided to jack off her housework and get out to the beach and just be in nature. And it was totally worth it for her because she ended up seeing dolphins swimming, and it really made her feel quite connected. And so I had a lot of comments. So if you comment on any of these videos, you can either comment on the live, I will then upload them to YouTube and IGTV. So even if you comment later, then I'm going to enter you into the prize draw to win this beautiful little chakra bracelet that my friend Amelia made, which has got all the beautiful gemstones that relate to the chakras. So yesterday I had comments on the Facebook page from Dora, Josie Norton, Jan Furness, Nicola Stubbings, Jane Grimstead, even Valerie Doxey, who is Andrew's mum. Andrew works here at Shanti Centre and is a very good friend of ours. And then through Instagram, we had comments from Jenny and the Zen Pisces, who watched it on IGTV and YouTube. And then also on YouTube, we had comments from Carmina, Ray Morales, and Anna Julie. So you guys are all in the prize draw to win this beautiful little chakra bracelet. So I'm just going to write a comment and see if the comments are working. And if you are joining me, do comment so I know that you're there. There's 2 people watching, so if you're there, do comment and I can see. And I'm just, let me see if I can set this so I can see all of the comments. There we are. So hopefully you can comment now. And so how this works is it's a little free mini training. I'm going to speak a little bit on the sacral chakra today. So it's day 2. This will then be put up onto YouTube and into IGTV. And you can comment. I'll be doing little exercises with you each day and leaving you with a little bit of kind of contemplation or homework that you can do. And over the week, we'll be seeing how this is affecting your life. So yesterday we already saw how it affected Dora's life yesterday. I'm sure she feels very, very connected. And I see Haley's joined us. Hi, it's me, but don't enter me because I want someone else to win. Oh, bless you. Well, we'll see, Haley. Thank you for joining anyway. So let's talk about sacral chakra. So I'm going to talk briefly about sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is the second of our lower chakras. So yesterday I talked briefly about how we can see the chakras as an upward movement through our lives, through stages or points of consciousness, awareness, kind of junction boxes of emotions, through our lives. So stages of development even through our lives, like the root chakra was this kind of stage of development when you're born and you're just screaming out for your survival needs. You want food, you need food and shelter. You know, what do we need to get our voices heard, to feel at home in our bodies? So our lower chakras are very much about our human aspect. You know, it's about the really kind of nitty gritty earthy elements of our lives. So we have 3 lower chakras, and then it said that we have 3 higher chakras. Some systems don't include the crown chakra as the chakra. But if you think of like the 7 chakras, you've got 3 lower and 3 upper, and then you've got your heart chakra in the middle, which is kind of connecting both of those realms together. So you've got your human realm and your divine realm, if you will, and the heart is where it kind of brings it all together. So although we're traveling up, you know, on this journey, and when I run my month long or 7 months, 1 month each, chakra transform and inspire, which I'll talk about in a minute, although we're moving up, we end up wanting to sink back and kind of live in this heart space, because we're kind of living this life and trying to connect those 2 worlds. So you have 3 lower chakras. We've got root chakra, Muladhara, earth support. Then we've got the sacral chakra, which is today's topic, which is Swadhisthana, one's own dwelling place. So this is the place, the seat of your own being, getting to know yourself. And then you have the solar plexus, the fiery solar plexus chakra. So those 3 are very, very earthly, very, well, not very earthly, but very human. You've got earth, root, and then you've got moon. Sacral chakra is ruled by the moon, and you've got solar plexus, which relates to the sun. So in terms of those 3, sacral chakra is right at the center. And so we're trying to balance out our kind of like really rigid, rooted, me, earthy quality that we need to discover. We need our connection to the earth. But if you've got too much of that, you're very rigid, you're very controlling, you're not able to kind of go with the flow. And then your sun, the solar plexus, which is your fiery kind of like, get up and go, like passion, get things done, which can be, you know, fire, it can be dangerous, it's great, it, you know, gives us warmth and all that wonderful passion, but it also can get out of control sometimes. So your sacral chakra is the balance, so it's the moon, it's in between the earth and the sun, so it's connecting both of those. So we're right in the middle. I'm actually on a live, my darling. My son is here to join me. So we're talking about this kind of center in the middle of the earth and the fire. So what happens when we connect to the earth, which we really need to do? We get very rigid, and it's all about me. It's about survival. It's about getting our needs met. It's like, what do I need? What do I need to eat? Where am I working? It's me. It's like really getting your needs met. But then, and you might find this in your lives, sometimes we're fine when we've got everything we need. We think, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to set a new routine. I'm going to eat these foods. I'm going to work at this time, la, la, la. And when you're on your own and there's no one else to disturb you, that routine is perfect. But then what happens is, inevitably, you're going to become in relation to the world. There'll be people here that come into your space, and it all goes to pot. So it's fine when you're on your own, but actually we need to learn to live in relation to others. So at this point on our soul's journey, or our journey through consciousness, we have to work out who we are in relation to the others. And what we find is that often we are a crazy mix. We are so many different people. We're so many different people to so many different people. We behave like this in front of our mum. We behave like this in front of our friends. We're like this in front of our children. You know, and there's people that we like, there's people that we don't like. And we are a different person whenever we're encountering different people. So it's a very interesting space. And what we realize is we encounter cycles of emotion, cycles of life. The moon has her own cycle around and can actually affect our mood cycles as well. And menstruating women have cycles of very strong hormones, all that kind of originate in this sacral chakra area, that kind of like mean that we become these very schizophrenic people. Like, I'm so many different people. So what happens with sacral chakra is that we get a chance to just welcome home all the disparate parts of ourselves, instead of deciding that you are that person, and then whenever you're not that person, you're just kind of hiding it away into what we'd call the shadow. It's kind of like, instead, we welcome those things. It's like, yes, I am nice, and I'm also horrible. Yes, I am angry and I'm also happy. And, you know, sometimes I'm like this and sometimes I'm like that. And we learn to welcome in these emotions and watch their cycles as they wash over us and move along. So sacral chakra actually relates to this kind of pubic area, the pelvic region. And, you know, in anatomy, the pelvis is where all movement comes from. If we want to be moving in the world, if we want to kind of, we found our grounding, we found our root support, we found our earth, but earth is heavy and it's still and it's unmovable. But to be able to move forward in the world, we have to find some movement. So water is still quite heavy, it's still a dense emotion, but it enables some movement into the world. And in anatomy terms, all movement of the body comes from the pelvis. And even, quite interestingly, the pelvis is a bowl and it's got all these watery organs sitting in it. And your bladder is actually helps you to find balance. So this is where like water helps you to find balance. So you start coming up from your like, you know, survival instinct. You've got what you need. You've put some boundaries in place in your life. You've asked that your home is okay. You've got food to eat. You've hopefully made peace with how you make your living, and you're ready to move forward in the world in relation to others. And as you move forward, your boat gets rocked, right? Because people come in, and then you're mirroring, you know, yourself back to them, and you're realizing that, you know, whoa, I can tip the boat. So the sacral chakra, the symbol is this kind of crescent moon, and I always like to think of it as an orange-shaped crescent moon boat. And it's this boat, and it's balancing on this rocky sea, you know, and water is the name of the game in the sacral chakra world. So we've got this crescent moon boat, and we realize as we welcome in those emotions and don't push them down, that it's okay to feel this and to be knocked over there. But what will happen is that to get back to balance, I'll have to go all the way over here. And that's fine. You can learn to ride these waves of emotion to allow yourself to move in and through those states of emotion until you can kind of find your balance on the boat. So you can either, you know, accept that if you're, you know, going to go looking for the highs, that's fine. You can live like that, but you are also going to have the lows. Or you can decide to come right into the center of the boat, choose a more middle path, because you know that if I have a bit of that, I'm going to have a bit of that, and it's just not worth it. So I'm going to find my place in the center of my boat. And if you imagine that kind of crescent moon shaped boat, the only way you're going to be still in this rocky sea of emotions is to get your place in the center. And Haley says, oh my God, this is profound. I'm recovering from COVID and it made me experience rotating vertigo. Okay, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And yes, it's quite amazing to kind of start seeing that you can go this way and that. And her boat was spinning, she says. That's amazing. And I wonder if that's has something to do with kind of the, you know, sometimes immune system and viruses can really attack the lower back, which is in your pelvic area, which would then affect your balance. But anyway, that is not my area. That's not my scope of knowledge at all. But it's interesting. It's interesting. So, okay, so that's the sacral chakra. So I thought, I mean, there's lots more to it, and I will go much more into detail in our 7-month journey, which starts next Tuesday, 1 week today, where we kick off with the new moon on our root chakra. We have coaching calls at new moon, where we introduce the chakra and I introduce ways of working. Then I leave you be to get on with your work at self-paced study, and then at full moon we come together again, coaching call where we can kind of share our experience and do a ritual, because at full moon that's kind of the culmination of everything you're working on. And this is a sacral chakra thing as well, learning to work with your own cycles. As a menstruating woman, you have cycles of hormones that you can follow, and these can change our emotions hugely. And then once those hormones taper off, as a you know, in a more menopausal phase of life as a woman, or as a man without these, you know, specific hormone cycles, I think men have their own cycles as well, but you can follow the moon as a natural kind of guide for waxing and waning emotional states. And you know, in cycles of nature also, spring, summer, autumn, winter, just as you can follow the cycles of your hormones and your emotions, you can follow the cycles of nature. Spring being birthing new projects into being, summer meaning the culmination, the harvest, autumn kind of getting a bit darker, planting some seeds, winter kind of sitting on those seeds, going into the dark, letting things go, shedding. And you can also do these amazing kind of practices with the moon as well. And this is a Sacral Chakra exercise, is that a dark moon, which is where the moon has got, you know, started from new moon, it's got big, after 2 weeks it's a full moon, and then it takes about 2 weeks to wane away and become dark moon, where there's actually, you know, 1 or 2 nights where there's no moon in the sky at all. This is dark moon, where you can actually do meditations at dark moon to kind of get rid of, you know, what you no longer have need for. So you can use every single month to bring a new seed, to plant a new seed into existence, or a new idea. And it's a really powerful way of working with cycles. I use the cycles of the year, of nature, a lot. You know, all my courses, my deep courses, start in September and culminate in summer, where you have this kind of finish, you know, you reap all the rewards of kind of starting in the autumn, going deep in the winter, starting to see new growth in the spring. And I use my own cycle as a woman with hormones and the moon cycles a lot, because it means that you can use the energy of those cycles. It's like an effortless way of bringing things into being. Sometimes it feels like you're banging your head against a brick wall, trying to bring things or do things, and you're doing them at the wrong time. And actually, you can use your own cycle to know, like as a woman, when is the good time to get stuff done, and when is the good time to like be really quiet and take rest. You know, we learn this as women, our premenstrual phases are for rest. If you try and get stuff done in those days before your bleed, you're probably just going to end up really tired and really kind of, you know, banging your head against the brick wall. That's your winter phase for kind of collecting ideas, planting seeds, sitting on them, going deep in meditation, listening, being more intuitive. And then your ovulation phase, or your full moon phase, or your summer phase, is when all the ideas flow. You're so creative, you're shiny, you're bright. So we can learn to, you know, go with the flow, and then we can just move effortlessly through our lives. And we can learn as well that things are transient. Everything is moving through. So even when we're kind of riddled with anxiety, fear, doubt, insecurity, imposter syndrome, all these things just roll off the tip of my tongue because they're so close to me, that you can learn to see that they are transient. They're moving through, like clouds move through the sky. So Sacral Chakra can really help you realize that things are in flux. We are constantly spiraling around. So you can sit with those feelings. You can sit with like, oh, I said something really awful, I was angry. That it's okay. You can welcome that emotion. I'm feeling, you know, desperate, down. You can welcome those emotions and get the help you need. And you can also not decide that you are bubbly, you know, always happy, positive person, because then if you've decided that you are that and you put yourself into that one thing, you've left no room for the other things. So just being able to be a bit more fluid. I am like this sometimes, I'm like that sometimes, and you know, things change. So hopefully that's helpful. I think I've been digressing and going off piece a little bit, but that is my way. So a good thing for you to do, because we're coming up to new moon is next Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, it means that you've got this opportunity coming up to do a couple of meditations. And a dark moon meditation, which is a meditation where you are a contemplation, maybe a journaling exercise, where you kind of think about what you're ready to let go of. So I invite you, maybe tonight, and you can feed back to me tomorrow, or the next time you can join one of these lives this week. I'm live all week. At 9 o'clock in the morning, you can see what you're ready to let go of, because the dark moon is kind of that kind of putting to ground. You know, it's like the winter phase of a year's cycle. It's, you know, you've dropped, you know, as the moon goes from full to half to no moon, dark moon, it's like letting go, shedding the leaves in autumn, and then going to ground, planting seeds. So what are you ready to let go of? And then as new moon approaches, you know, it's just like the next day. So you have a meditation of like what you're ready to let go of. And then as new moon comes in, that new moon energy of a few days around the actual date of the new moon, we're like, we're using this cycle to kind of bring new things through. So what are you ready? What seeds are you ready to plant? What journey are you ready to go on this month? And they don't have to be big lifetime journeys. You can't do that every single month. But, you know, it's good housekeeping, emotional housekeeping to each month, you know, have a check at new moon. What am I ready to bring in? At full moon, 2 weeks later, what have I brought in? What can I give thanks for? What can I enjoy the benefits of? And then at dark moon, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what am I ready to let go of? So it's like keeping your emotions in good business sense. You know, we're doing our quarterlies or our monthly, you know, checkups on our emotional states, on our, you know, where we want to go. But it can also be like, I have people on my 7-month courses that go through huge lifelong changes, because often if you're embarking on a journey like this, even if you don't realize it, you're ready to bring something in, you're ready to make a change, you're ready to do something different. And so you don't realize it, but at the beginning of your root chakra work, you've started planting seeds that you don't even know and you don't even see. And by the time we reach the end of that 7-month journey, often people have gone through massive changes. You know, there's a joke that goes around about people hanging out with me that they'll always like quit their jobs if they hang out with me too long. And, you know, I'm sorry about that, but hey, you know, some jobs are not worth sticking around for. But often people find really quite drastic changes in their work lives, in their social lives, because they're realizing, you know, that they need to have their needs met, and once their needs are met, they can move and go with the flow. And then as we see through the rest of the week, this lends itself to being more open to change, to being more open to accepting things that are happening, and just moving forward and kind of getting out of your own way, so that you can bring through what you want to bring through. So those are your exercises. If you're doing your homework, then, and let me know how it goes. Definitely let me know how it goes. And if you had any insights from the root chakra yesterday, from going out in nature, or from, you know, planting your feet in the earth, doing that meditation exercise, let me know those too, because it's really nice to kind of check in. Your exercises for today is to work out what you're ready to let go of, just because we're on a waning moon now. But also you can start tracking cycles, start tracking the moon cycles, maybe planning a few little rituals if you want to on new moon and full moon. And yeah, just thinking about your boat rocking around and how you can welcome in rather than push against emotions that you just don't want to be part of. You know, it's more about acceptance. You know, they say that you can't change at all. You can't bring any change until you've accepted what is. So often we try and change what is. So we try and kind of override what is. We're like, I'm not like that, I'm going to be like that. But if you are like that, how can you kind of, you know, override that? You first of all have to accept that this is what it is. And then it's like you don't have to do anything. Like by accepting what is, change just happens naturally. So it's not... Change is not the thing that you go for. Acceptance is the thing that you put all your effort into, and then change accidentally happens. So anyway, let's see what happens. Let me know how you go. And I just wanted to read you. Oh, you're joking. No, my computer's gone dead, so I'll just wake it up a minute. I just wanted to read you a little testimonial, a couple of testimonials from the Transform and Inspire course. As I said, like, people do tend to have big things that happen. So one testimonial is: Shanti's empowering and coaching style inspired the group to explore their experience, dreams, power and vulnerability through the lens of the chakras. Everyone will take away something different, but my favourite gifts were inner calm, confidence and a decluttered mind and house. Often people tidy their houses. Was it a coincidence but that by the end of the journey I had also seen improvements in my career and finances? I think not. I recommend this course wholeheartedly. And then I have another one here. I joined this course encouraged by 2 friends on the cusp of turning 50 and having been in my chosen career for over half of this time. At a time when we couldn't travel and have all the usual distractions in life, what better time to reflect on who I am in this moment? Guided and encouraged by the resourceful, knowledgeable Steph, I was contained, challenged, and energized. And the work ended up with a focus on the self-doubt that has always been there. I began to appreciate my strengths and not just pay lip services to them. The heart and throat chakras are my most challenging, and tempting self-compassion, accepting compliments, and seeing myself as others seeing me without minimizing or dismissing was quite the experience. However, it was all well worth it. And by the end of this 7 months explorations, I have come to a blissful place where I'm able to relate to myself differently. I'm full of creativity, and the only person I feel I need to prove myself to is me. So that's a shining kind of experience of the 7 month journey that you can do. So if you're interested in that, it starts next Tuesday. And if you want to just join and the finances are just kind of not working out at the moment, just let me know, because you know, you can just get going and we can work out a payment plan, no problem. I can't set it up on my events page because it's too complicated for me, but I am all ears, and I just want you to be able to join because it's an amazing experience. And if you join this week, there's a free pack of these amazing meditation cards for you, which Amelia, my friend, made, who made the chakra bracelet. So they're normally £10. If you want a pack of these, let me know, and I'll send them to you. And if you join this week, then you get free set. And also will be these lives, as from Thursday, I'll be selling Amelia's handmade malas half price. So join me from Thursday onwards, because I've got a whole set in England. Tomorrow I am flying to England, so this will be recorded so you can catch up. And yeah, I better go and leave you be. So don't forget to comment, don't forget to do your homework. Let me know how yesterday's stuff went. Let me know how today's stuff goes, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.